Let's talk about the usuals here. We'll go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, but there's also a few altcoins that look very, very enticing for long positions. So I'll be discussing those as well. But firstly, as always, let's start with Bitcoin here. So there's really two main levels to be aware of right now. The first level is 112,000 and the second level is 115.2k. So there's really should not be new levels to anyone watching these videos. The 112k level, or the green box level as it's referred to pretty often on Twitter, is going to be the H4 breakout point that initially led us to the move up to $123,000. So H4 breakout and breakdown points are a pretty core component of my entire system. So that's why, to me, that level is very, very important. But also, as you can see with recent price action, that level has provided bounces, that level has provided solid rejections, that level has been chopped. So overall, that's everything I look for in a key level, which is great. My thoughts on the zone between the green box and 115.2k has really been unchanged. I still believe this is the Diddy zone. I think a lot of people will get chopped up between these two very, very key levels. But overall, I really don't think Bitcoin looks that bad. We just finished a long holiday weekend, so liquidity was low. We saw a solid move from New York Open today. So overall, I believe Bitcoin still looks strong. There's nothing that I am too worried about. But if Bitcoin does sell off from here and is rejected from this green box, the level of interest that I have is 105.8k. But in general, the main, biggest, most important level we have on this chart right now is 112k, or this green box. So if and when price is above this green box, then it makes sense to have more bullish arguments for Bitcoin. But for now, I think it looks fine, not super bullish, not super bearish, just fine. And if it reclaims that green box, then my thoughts will be changed. So dare I say Ethereum actually looks relatively weak compared to Bitcoin now. Ethereum and Solana has been strong while Bitcoin has looked weak at times. But now I think Ethereum looks weak and Solana looks strong. I'll be talking about Solana right after this, of course, but Ethereum looks okay. We were holding the previous H4 consolidation period that ended up being a very strong support and resistance level for Ethereum. We have some strong bounces that happened from the green box, which is great. Although what's slightly concerning is the bounces from green have gotten significantly weaker. So let's say after this bounce, let's look at the bounces after green. We have a decent bounce from green directly into the high time frame level at 4,620, rejected. A much weaker bounce that didn't even get to the higher time frame level, and then again a long lower wick into zero bounce. So that structure and the overall price action is very concerning for Ethereum. What's nice though is I think we have a really solid diagonal here to where you could use this as a long argument and a long trigger. So if and when price gets above that diagonal, that's going to be the long trigger. But for me, it's going to be hands off of Ethereum until that does happen, just because I think it looks fairly weak. And Ethereum did have its spotlight for a few weeks there, which is great. So it really does make sense to see a rotation back into Solana and or Bitcoin. So overall, I'm not too worried about the higher time frame price action for Ethereum, but just the intraday price action is not ideal and a little bit uncomfortable. So now swapping to the Solana chart, you can see the clear difference in overall strength and price action of Solana. We are above an H4 breakdown point, which looks great. We have bounced from that level twice now. You can maybe call this a bounce, whatever, maybe. The long trigger, if you're not already in a long position, is going to be above 206.3. So that's going to be our new H4 breakdown point. You can see price doesn't really spend too much time above the level and has gotten rejected here, rejected again. Price attempts to hold the level, chops the level before another rejection. Same thing here. And now price has just been consolidating below the level. So an easy long setup is going to be a long on a reclaim of 206.3. The invalidation for the entire bullish argument is probably going to be a loss of 193.3, which is going to be the H4 breakdown point here, which has been a very significant and very key level for Solana. In terms of upside targets for if and when Solana does break above that 206.3 level, is going to be somewhere within here. within this daily consolidation at 218, maybe 220s-ish. Somewhere up there makes the most sense to see price go to, maybe stall below before moving even higher up into the 230s, 240s level. But overall, I think it's very, very clear that the rotation to Solana has started, especially with the Ethereum weakness. So Solana is going to be one that I'm going to be very, very interested in. I'm already in a long position from 184, so I've been pretty comfortable in this position, but I'm going to look to compound the position above 206.3 because of the argument I just discussed. So FARTCOIN has been relatively disappointing over the last few weeks. We have lost the daily consolidation period that provided several bounces in the past. There really hasn't been consistent buy pressure for quite a while, but I think that could be changing here pretty soon. On the H4 chart, we have 3 drives lower. We have price reclaiming the H4 lows, the first set of lows here and the second set of lows here. So as long as the H4 continues to close above 0.73, I'm bullish on FARTCOIN and I'm looking for a move back to within green within that daily consolidation period. The level though for me to feel really comfortable in bullish arguments for FARTCOIN is going to be a reclaim of 0.81, which is the bottom of the daily consolidation period. So a potential long setup could look something like this. The invalidation point is based on the H4 lows before the move up back in late April. But like I said, the real warning sign on this FARTCOIN long position or this overall argument is going to be a loss of 0.73. This entire argument is on the base of reclaiming these H4 swing lows. So if price falls back below those H4 swing lows, that's kind of the warning sign that the argument is going to be incorrect and to maybe get out of the position as quickly as possible. Link looks super interesting as well, mainly because of how clean the H4 chart has been looking for Link. We can see the H4 breakout point here, which leads to bounces, chop at the level, rejections at the level, wicks into the level, really everything I want to see from a key and important level. And then we could see here as well, if we extend that level to the right, we could see deviations below the level, wicks into the level, chop at the level, consolidation below the level. So again, a lot of price action at this level. So it's going to be a very clear long setup if and when price reclaims 23.4, but I'd say like 23.5, somewhere in there, 23.6 even, with an invalidation below the low before the move up and a take profit 1 at just below 26 most likely. Though it's one of those positions where I really wouldn't feel comfortable until price reclaimed 24.75 because of how key of a level it is. I really would like to make sure that price is really going to reclaim it before feeling like even remotely happy or comfortable in the position. So that's really important. I mean, it's not like I would take profit for like less than 1R here and front run the level. So it's one of those things that I would really have to pay attention to and make sure that we're actually getting the closes above the level before feeling any kind of joy. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any further questions, comments, anything like that, please feel free to ask, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.